Welcome to humanitywins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this episode of humanitywins.net. We have a guest today. We're very honored and humbled to have Tony from the UK. This episode from September the 23rd of the year 2022. We're pre-recording the day before, Thursday, September the 22nd. So hello, Tony. Thank you for being here. It's an honor. And if you want to introduce yourself and say something about your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, no, it's honor's mine. My name's Tony. I'm from London. 55, getting on a bit. And since the pandemic started, it's been opening my eyes to how the world really works and that we've been lied to constantly. And I've really looked against it and refused to comply and refused to go along with any narrative and switched off mainstream media. Television don't go on, the radio is hardly on. I'll use CDs instead to avoid the adverts. And my life has literally been flipped on its head. I'm literally not consuming any mainstream media, newspapers, and I've been researching into all sorts of things, PCR, Kerry Mullis, people like that. You name it, I'm looking into it, to figure out what is actually going on. And it's been a big journey, and I've found lately, the last few weeks, I've come to the conclusion it's basically we're living in fear mode. And that's what they want us in. So I've now had to reassess what I've actually learned for the last 2.5 years and say, hold on, is this doing us any good? This isn't actually progressing us anywhere. And between a few of us that chat regularly, we've realised it's our state of being that is more important than finding out the details of what's happening. It's how we are in ourselves. Our energy, our frequency even. So that's where I'm now manoeuvring over towards. I'm changing direction into not so much the details of it all and who did what and when, but more to how can I combat the fear porn and the anger and the disputes and divide and rule. How can I just be stable in my own energy and be immune from it? That's how I'm seeing it at the moment, yeah.
Well, that's a lot because first of all, everything you were saying was resonating with me. That means we're very, very, as I previously said, as I was kind of talking about our chat, we were coming on previous episodes, that we're very much aligned. I do believe it's very difficult. You're going to find someone that is exactly like you. I believe it's only you that could happen. But what you're saying resonates with me. I agree completely. I think the agenda has been going on for thousands of years. Of keeping humanity, keeping the whole earth, not only humanity, all other species and Mother Earth suppressed. Okay, so if you want it, I'll share it with you. It's not a problem. We don't agree, but I think it is an alien force. This is an alien force that came to this garden planet. That's why this has become a hijacked reality, because it was not supposed. If this alien force doesn't find planet Earth and starts this suppression, then reality will be much more different right now. We'll basically, for thousands of years, be living in a reality of abundance. And what I mean with abundance is not everyone having money. What I mean with abundance is truly abundance, like air. You are not concerned about air because air is abundant. It's not being free. It's really being something you are not concerned about. Imagine not being concerned about bills. Imagine not being concerned about shelter. Imagine not being concerned about eating. Imagine food. Imagine not being concerned about entertainment. Imagine not being concerned about anything. Okay, anything. Disease also. Because this is also scarcity of health. So I do believe this is a hijacked reality, and I do believe they are trying to keep us in fear, in hate, in envy, in all of these emotions that, by the way, I do believe now they don't exist in the universe for real. They are artificial things that God never intended for them to exist. And so they have to exist in something that I kind of invented my own thing, that is the carbon copy, the anti-universe where antimatter is. So it's a little bit out there, I'm sorry about that, but we resonate on the most important thing, that if we forget that this force is a force, I mean, if we forget if it's alien or terrestrial or whatever, we just focus on the force. It's clear there's a force, okay? There's a system, some call it the system, some call it the globalist. I disagree with those labels, Tony, because then we go into saying it's men against men and stuff like that. And I think, no, it's men being divided by a force, okay? We're all brothers and sisters. We're all equally beautiful. And we're all equally powerful. But they divide us and they confuse us to go against each other like a game. Okay, so I'm very happy to hear like that. I think you're making a service to humanity, because by you breaking your own matrix, which you have done clearly, you are putting yourself into the service of humanity. And when everyone does like you, I do think the new non-hijacked reality will come, which I've been labeling the new world, but it's just a label. It's basically the true world of love and the true world of abundance. Love and abundance for all. It's not communism, it's not socialism, because there are no hierarchies. There's not going to be a president or a prime minister. It's going to be all humans truly living in full abundance and basically enjoying life in this garden planet. Like religions and many, things say we call it paradise, okay, or heaven or whatever. Heaven on earth, basically, okay?
False prophets.
Yes. So I wanted to touch on something, Tony. We're talking off camera about that, and you appeared with Pat and Joel from Waking the Future, and I consider myself, they are like my teachers and I'm the student, okay, because I shared with you before we started that since I was a child, I always felt this reality was not real. I know that sounds just silly, but this reality was hijacked. There was something else. I also shared that even my parents took me to talk to the local priest, and he said, no, there's something wrong. Maybe he got it from a TV show or something. He has some weird ideas that, religion is not like we explain it, and they cannot have that. They cannot have that because they need you to abide by the terms and regulations. Okay, so basically, I was sharing that I start with UFOs and astronomy and all that. So, but my real moment that I wanted to share a message was when I appeared with Pat and Joel in February. Was basically one of their guests for the Keeping It Real segment, and then they invited me like a follow-up a week later. And what happened to me is the show stopped and we say goodbye, and I was like, I have so much to say. Let's keep going. But of course, it was not the intention to become a third wheel of Waking the Future, but they gave me my push, they gave me my start. So that's when I started my own show. That has been eventful, what has happened with the channels and changing names and being shadow banned and all that. So what I wanted to say, so you appeared the other day, I believe it was last Friday, and there were some comments I wanted to address. I'm not going to get into comments anymore directly, like me replying, because I don't want to get to rabbit holes, but I saw them. Some people calling your message, and of course my message as well, because they have said it. A user from there called BDN has said it. Basically, I'm, a Satanist or whatever, calling your message related to Satan. And I want to say, if we make it go through our minds, how does possibly what you said and what you're saying right now could be related to Satan? Okay.
Right.
Is there a rational explanation? I just want to...
Well, my message in a nutshell, we spoke of a lot of things on that interview, that chat. But generally, my message was frequency. It was about being in charge of your own destiny and being in the present moment, living life in the present moment without the baggage of the head, being in the head. That's when I brought this our timeline. I don't know if you can see it. Really.
Okay, yes.
But I used an example in that video, Pat and Joel, saying people keep their attention up there in the head. That's the attention now, the sand, instead of down there in the body. If we was to live like this instead, and have our attention in our arms, legs, hands, body, the five senses, we would be literally connected to life itself. That was the sum of my message in a nutshell. So if it goes against any of his beliefs or any of his ideas, I can't help that. That's my message. And if he has a problem with it, it's a simple message. There's no satanic in it. It's just as simple as it gets. Be in the moment. That is my message. So satanic or Satanism, I have no idea.
Which is a word. It's a label.
Yeah. It confuses me, honestly.
Yes. No, I wanted, if you don't mind, just give my 2 cents on that, and I wanted to get that out. That I think they call it the system. They're using knowledge from the system. They quoted some authors, whatever, probably controlled by the system, that if they want to suppress a message, how about we label it that is from the devil? So you don't go into it. For me, it's for me, if you think about it rationally, I don't even have to go to make it through my heart, which for me is two different things. Thinking and feeling are, feeling is much more advanced than the brain, okay? But if we want to use our brains on that, just think for a second. If I am the system and I want to suppress messages, how about I say it's from the devil? And also on that note, I wanted to share this whole thing about the New Age movement, okay? There are very good things on that. And I think there are a lot of labels in there that scare people, like 5D, 3D, 9D, whatever.
Yes,
They're talking of different levels of frequency, as you call it, okay? Because we have our own frequency, but we can ascend our vibration, which is related, okay? So some people are scared by that because they say, for example, this New Age movement, that if you don't follow, again, it's become like a religion. That's the problem. That's where I don't resonate with them. That if you don't stop eating food, stop taking alcohol, if you don't behave certain way, if, for example, you have to be careful what you say, because I know words are frequency, but for example, my wife asks me for money and I say, I only have half of it. I don't have the money. And she's a little bit into that. And she said, no, don't say it because the universe is listening. I don't agree. I don't agree. I mean, what? If I think it is not the same thing, this is just a system. I mean, this mouth, these vocal cords are just part of this reality, okay? I need them in this reality to speak because it's the way we communicate in this reality. A higher level of communication will be telepathy, okay? That doesn't require that. So, because I say it in this reality through my vocal cords, it's going to mean something. I don't abide with that. But the New Age movement has, first of all, been labeled as an egocentric movement because it talks about loving yourself, which is it's a good thing. But discover your love in yourself and discover yourself. Take the love part out. But they say love yourself, so it's basically ego. Okay, you're egocentric because it's about you, not about helping others. No, of course it's about helping others. But you cannot go into a war if you're not prepared. You cannot go into a sport game, a soccer game, if you're not prepared. You're weak. It's gonna be, funny even. You have to be strong so you can help. Okay. Yeah. First, it's like going on an airplane, and they say first put your mask on and then help others. I agree with that. First, put your mask on. You be strong. You discover who you are. You're strong. Yes, I'm ready to help others. Okay. If you are there putting mask to everyone, passing out, it's probably even worse than you're not helping them. You're actually affecting them. Okay, and that's what happens when I believe you don't love yourself, you don't discover yourself. I'm refraining from the love yourself expression because of that connotation to New Age and egocentric. But it's discover yourself. When you don't discover yourself and you go out there helping, actually talking about frequencies and energies, you can suck energy from the ones you're helping. Because you need it, because you haven't discovered it. So you go out there with the best intention, you're beautiful, you're trying to help, but you go and suck energy from the ones you're helping. And I think that's the story of the Mother Teresa of Calcutta, which is another story that goes out like she was a beautiful woman. She probably was, but she went and sucked the energy from the children. I'm sorry to say, some people don't like that I'm saying. I know for a fact, after being very, very interested with the real story of the Mother Teresa of Calcutta, she used the children more than whatever she was giving back. Okay, she was feeding from their energy and helping, and that's not very different from what the system does, because there's a school of thought that the system is confused and there's a guardianship going on, and they feel they are our guardians, so they feel they know better, so they use our energy, they feed from our energy because they claim they're helping us, but they're energetic vampires too. Yes. Because that's the only reason. Some say they want to destroy humanity. Come on, they could destroy humanity in 5 minutes. They could throw 100 nuclear bombs in the atmosphere and we'll all be dead, and all dogs and all plants and all animals on the world will be dead, and the Mother Earth will become a rock. Okay? Yeah. If they want to do that. But they don't want to do that because they feed from our energy. Same as the story from the Mother Teresa of Calcutta, that she fed from the energy of the children she was helping. Okay? Yeah. That's why I believe you have to be strong and then help. If you want to feel that's an egocentric message, then there's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing I can try to explain to you, because that's your prerogative. That's your way of thinking. That's your feeling. But what I'm trying to share is you have to be strong. You have to vibrate high. You have to go into your frequency, as you say, and then you are going to participate and become a soldier for humanity. Okay?
Yeah. You have to be stable. If you're not stable, you have no control over yourself or what you're doing. You need to be stable in yourself. And I think the best place to be stable is in the moment, because you're connected with what's actually happening now. You're not in your head, because this is what makes you unstable. It's the thoughts that rock you about. It's like you're at sea in a boat. The thoughts are like a weight in the head that are going from one narrative to another, and one preconception to another, and misjudgments of people, and so much stuff that we don't need. But when you're in a moment, you can have a basic plan. Okay, I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to hand out food or advice, help. That's the plan, right? That's switch off the brain. Go and do your job. And that's stable. If you operate from here alone, you are not. You're basically no use to anybody. You need to be present. People need to really stop worshipping the mind, as a guide. It's not predictable. It's not stable. It's. I use it as a blank screen, say like on a cinema screen. Even when the movie's not playing, the curtains open and there's a white screen on the stage, cinema screen. Rather than put the movie on and just, you watch the movie, but you're not in the movie. You're present. You're still. You're the still witness, even. Okay. So I try to operate from within this body. So I looked at this body even, and the thoughts. I try to be the witness of them. But I'm the still space. It sounds a bit, I don't know, new agey maybe. But I try to be the still space or presence, the presence that sees this whole movie from within, from a deeper level. It's like witnessing from a deeper level. So I'm empty of it all, but I'm witnessing it. That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. It's very. I'm gonna try to. I'm more of a layman term guy, and I haven't read, not even close to what you obviously have read about philosophy and the being in the present, what it's called now. And I saw the article you sent me, and actually.
Sorry, Alex, am I too dark?
Sorry?
Am I too dark?
No, I can see you fine. You're a little bit dark, but I can make your. It's okay. I think with that light, it becomes a little bit too much. I know, obviously, right now it's 12:49 midday here in Mexico, but it's obviously very dark in the UK. I guess it's almost 7 p.m. Getting dark, yeah. So going back to what you were saying, for me, it's a bit more layman terms. I see it that the brain is a beautiful tool.
Yeah.
But if you think about it for a second, let me just explain my idea, because it's a little bit different than yours, okay? If you think about it from a second, it's part of our shell, okay? I don't think the brain goes with us anywhere after we leave this earth, this expression. So if you think about it for a second, and how the universe is perfect, how the universe, all processes of the universe are perfect, they wouldn't design an imperfect system if the brain was so important. For example, to hold your wisdom, which I think is here in your heart. And that's the connection, what is called I don't want to say the word heart chakra, because then I lose people that say, he's into Buddhism. No. The heart chakra, Hinduism or whatever. The heart chakra, the heart resonator, the connection, physical connection between your soul and your body. That's your wisdom, okay? The brain, it's a nice tool, supercomputer. There's not even how much humans have tried to create a computer more capable than the brain that is still misunderstood. They say we use 9% of our brains, okay? They say we'll use 20 to 30 to 50%. We could levitate. We could move things with our brain. I don't disagree. That's a possibility. Just it's probably a good thing that's not open to everyone. Yes. So I think the brain is just a nice tool in this reality. But I think when the brain starts dictating to you, for example, when it starts saying to you through rational thoughts, not your heart, through rational thoughts, you know what? Tony doesn't do as much things for you as you do for Tony. And you know what? Your child doesn't do so much things for you as you do for your child. Those are rational thoughts. That's ego. Forget about that. Your brain is dictating to you, and your brain is becoming evil to you. When your brain dictates to you, and I think that's what has happened to a lot of people that comment there on Wake in the Future, and I'm not gonna pick on anyone, but I'm gonna say the ones that are saying they own the truth, they basically have the truth. Their brain is playing with them. Okay, yes. Their brain is dictating. You have the truth. These guys, Tony, Alex, they're demons. They're, spawns of Satan and whatever. They're Satanists. You own the truth. You have the truth. You know better because you have read so many books, and you have used your brain so much and whatever. Ego, yes. And the brain then, you have to make it clear to the brain who's the boss. And I want to say I'm not perfect. For many years, my brain dictated to me because I'm mostly into books. I've read many books, tens of times. Again, as I shared before we started the recording, when I was in university, I was lucky. My university had a huge library, huge. I think it's the largest library in Mexico. So I went into a lot of books about philosophy and many other things, mainstream history, UFOs. They had about everything. Okay, so I was like a kid on a playground there. So for years, I thought, making your brain work and feeding it with knowledge was about, the thing you could do, and that got you better. But then my brain started dictating a little bit. And for me, it came very recently, 2021 actually, because in 2020, I was the same, saying, whoever is thinking about the lockdowns and all that, please. And I started even doing short videos that I didn't post as a channel. I shared them through WhatsApps and Telegrams and stuff like that, but doing a little edited my own videos of, that even Fauci was saying that the vaccine was not going to prevent transmission. I mean, I was in a rabbit hole, okay? But then suddenly, for me, starting 2021, after I changed zero people I talked to decided something different. Something came to me because I do believe there's things out there, Tony, okay? There's energy coming from the out there. If you want to call it the ether or something, and there are messages there, it's just very difficult sometimes to decode because you're not tuning into them, okay?
Yes.
That's the reason. So I had like a humble pie or something happened to me, basically saying who you are to teach anyone, who you are to expect that someone is going to change because what you say, okay? So it's not your place. It's not your place really to say anything to anyone and to judge anyone and to say that, they are wrong and you're right. It's not your place. So that was the moment for me, and that happened to me like 18 months ago, something like that, and it has changed my life. I've never been as calm as I'm right now with everything going on in the world. I'm very calm because I realized, first of all, I have from here outwards, I have nothing to say. It doesn't matter what I say. If there's a meteor coming, if there are kilos through the money, through the inflation, if I don't have any more money, then I'm gonna deal with it when I deal with it. Okay. But there's nothing I can do, okay? There's truly nothing I can do. And the same message is the one I'm trying to share to everyone listening is please try to go into yourself and find those messages. Find that it's not your place to think you're right. It's not your place to judge anyone. And some say like I'm defeated, okay? That I'm putting my head in the sand, that I'm, basically giving up. And I feel it's the whole contrary. I'm saying you don't owe me, system. Doesn't matter what you do to me. Doesn't matter. You're never gonna owe me again. Okay. Yeah. So I don't want you wanna say something about
that. They own you through this.
Yes. Yeah. That's the weapon. It's amazing because it's the brain is a beautiful thing. The mind is a beautiful thing. Yeah, just think about also when people call other. I hate particularly one word. I'm gonna say it, but I hate it, and I hate to repeat it. Retard. Okay. Because I have a friend that has a son with Down syndrome. It's not his fault. Oh. He just got a bad shell. He got a bad flesh. He got a bad body. That's it. It's like we all get a car when we get into this reality, and if you're calling someone other names because they got a bad car, a car with a mechanical problem, and you got a fine car.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay. Yeah. The word retard is horrible because you're basically it intends superiority, intends inferiority of the other person, intends maybe that this person is retard by purpose because they decided to when it's just they got a bad shell. Yeah. They got a bad body coming into this reality. And that's why some people die, children 5-year-old of cancer, they got a body that just couldn't take it. Because they're poisonous through EMF, through food. That's why when I talk to Tony Skipper, sometimes I understand perfectly how he gets in the comments when they keep saying about 40,000 excess deaths. They have been 9 million have been dying of hunger every year for hundreds of years. So we don't say anything about those, maybe because they're out there in Africa, and the 40,000 are in your city.
That's it.
So how silly it is. I mean, that there's a carnage going on. There has been a carnage going on for thousands of years. But apparently right now you're upset about it. So I just want to say how silly, if you make it go through your brain, how silly it sounds, okay?
Yeah, I lose perspective on it. So I think, it's the frequency of thinking. It's almost like people are locked into it. And they're in that, like you said, the heart chakra. You called
Yes.
it the heart resonator?
Heart resonator, yes. It's called that both words, more chakra than resonator, but I tend to use your heart center is another word. Your
Okay,
heart diamond, because apparently spiritually it's a diamond. It's not
right.
the heart pump. The heart pump is just the pump, okay?
Yeah,
I'm not talking about your heart, physical heart. That's a whole different thing. It's just a pump, pumps blood. That's
right.
it. But I'm talking about here. You have a connection to the spiritual world, to your spirit, okay?
Yeah,
So believe me, you have a friend there. You have your best friend here, okay? In your heart resonator. Whenever you're in trouble, just go to your heart. You're just going to yourself. And this is
yeah,
how, if you want to talk about that, about how meditation, being in the present, because you shared a very interesting article. And again, I'm not as lectured as you on those topics, but the way I say it, and I keep saying it, live in the second. Enjoy this second.
yeah,
Because this second that just passed is already in the past. There's nothing I can do about that. And this second that is coming in the future is just an opportunity. It's not real. It's in the future. First of all, I know in my heart is going to beat into the future. So how about I enjoy this moment right now, being present? So if you want to share something about that.
sure. I mean, yeah, you said that we've got frequency, a unique frequency, each person.
Yes.
So if that's our heart frequency or heart resonator, that means if we're in our mind with the frequencies of the world's narratives, which are always anger, fear, scarcity, division, that has a frequency. If you're substituting this frequency for your heart natural unique frequency, of course you're going to be off balance. You're going to be out of tune with what you should be in tune with. So that's what I see it as. It's still back to frequency. The narratives they give us are fear. So it has. If you're in fear, you're going to be acting in a different state because you're fearful. You're more contracted. You're more protective over your space and your own. You're divided. You're keep away, people. Keep away. You know, it's that energy of contraction and division. But if you're in your heart frequency, you have no fear because we're all connected. The heart is open, it's accepting, it accepts what is. There is no fear. And that's what they bank on. They bank on us being in fear. So they have to take over our attention to put it into the head. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. So if we switch off from the fear and the narratives and stay in the present, we'll get what we need. People will have, when they say have faith, I think that means have faith in life itself, not in a deity or in a prophet or messiah. Have faith in life itself. Be empty, be in the moment, and accept what your path is giving you. Your path will provide everything you need. I don't even know how I've managed to survive what I've been through, but there's always been a point where I've been at a low point and persevered, and life's provided what I needed. And it's even given me more. It's given me insights. And like, for example, yesterday I went to the hospital for an appointment, routine appointment, and when I left the hospital I went for a walk, and quite an eventful walk. But cut a long story short, I ended up at the philosophy school in London. I just went to look at the building. I thought, I wonder if this is open. So I went there. There was no shutter on the door, so I thought, okay, there's someone in there. I pressed the buzzer. Hello? I said, oh, yeah, I used to come to the school as a student. Are you open still? Oh, yeah, come in. The door clicked, open, walked in. And within 5 minutes, I was signed up for next week's course for 10 weeks. And it was just, it happened just like that. It's easy as that.
And I think it was not a coincidence, Tony.
No, I don't believe so.
You're gonna find some signs there that you were meant to. I agree totally with you. I mean, whenever we're wandering through our path, there are some times that we truly go into ourselves, and we request help, and we call it the guardian angel or something like that. You know what? And this, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it, but I'm very convinced right now. Your guardian angel is yourself from the future, the superior Tony, the ascended master Tony, which is said that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, which is irrelevant because time is infinite in the universe. So it's just a problem here on Earth, like money. Money is scarce, time is scarce here on Earth.
Yes.
Money doesn't exist in the universe, time is infinite in the universe. It's abundant. So I do believe, that's why I say go into yourself, talk. There are a lot of ascended masters out there for you, but you have to request their assistance. They're not gonna come. If someone comes and offers you something, I'm talking like an angel, a voice, or something. Watch out, because that could be a non-benevolent intention. Okay, he's saying, "I'm gonna fix your problems. You have money problems. I'm gonna give you money. You're gonna win the lottery next week. You have love problems. That person is gonna love you. There's a violation of the law of balance. That's a violation of the law of free will. That violates most laws of the universe to force someone to love you. Okay,
Cool.
I'm talking romantic love, by the way. And you know what? You wanna do evil to someone, you want to kill someone, I'll do it for you. That's a demon. Okay, that's a being that is confused. That's a being which frequency, because one thing I think is frequency, one thing is vibration. The frequency may be set. We all have our own frequency, but the vibration levels go up and down. And this is the things. And for example, when you hate, when you want to kill someone, even in your mind, you're vibrating really low. When you're really fearful, you're vibrating really low. But when you're vibrating in love, which is the opposite of hate and fear, or both, you're vibrating high in the same frequency maybe, but you're vibrating in a level. It's like the amplification of the frequency, okay, like the volume you want to see it. So that's what I understand. It's all of the things I say, Tony. I have a huge disclaimer on every episode. It's just my feelings, just my thoughts. I don't know anything. I don't claim to know anything. Okay?
Oh no, it's interesting to listen to.
Thanks. So yes, I do think that whenever we have these episodes, it's because the only ascended master that doesn't require your permission to help you is yourself. That's a very interesting thought. Okay, there's like a little exception there. Yeah. First of all, is the only accepted use of time travel in the universe as an individual is for you to come back to help yourself throughout your existence. Okay, it's like a book that has 80 chapters. The chapter 77, I know it's a strange metaphor, but bear with me. It's allowed to help chapter 30 or something like that, to go back and say, rewrite it this way because, or here you're going to make a mistake and stuff like that. It looks a little bit like cheating, but it's more your ascended master coming back to support you when you need it, coming back to assist you when you need it, just to show you the road. Because one thing is show the road, one thing is traverse the road. I mean, if someone offers for you, for example, to put, I'm going to, take you and do the work for you, that's wrong. That's a violation of the law of balance. That's many things. So I think the ascended master, your own ascended master, doesn't require the permission. So sometimes these intuitions that come to you, sometimes these messages that come to you, that you don't understand them, like, no, I shouldn't go into that black alley. Because maybe something was going to happen to you. That's you from the future saying, yeah, this is the way. Okay?
That's a good way of
no, go ahead. Sorry about that.
So yeah, so that's a good way of looking at it. Good analogy, even.
Yes, I know. It's very, very out there stuff. And you know what? It's very out there stuff. And I understand, for example, when I have chats with other friends that tell me, prove it to me. And I say, no. And you know what? Just by saying that, let's change subject, because it's not about proving, it's about feeling, okay? Prove it is again the mind. I want evidence. I want, the numbers, or the photographs, the videos that show me that this is happening, whatever. No. There are testimonials of this going on. And some of these things come to me in ways I don't understand. And some of these things come to me through other people similar, that are going through the similar process that I think you are going, by the way. That I think Pat and Joel are going, by the way. That I think Tony Skipper is going, by the way. Wonga is going, by the way. All of us are going through this process. We're just trying to understand that there's no guidelines. There's nothing like that. It's a personal process. Everyone is going through it differently. So I'm in touch with these people that are going through the same process, and they validate some of the things, saying yes, that's because I already figured out, in the past what you're saying. Yes, it's like that. So at the end, if you want. Let's move into the subject. It's very interesting, the concept of truth and absolute truth, because it's also something that maybe until 2 to 4 years ago, I was into the concept there was an absolute truth, okay? And I think if you move it, basically some things that are absolute, the molecular weight of water, 2 + 2 = 4. Yes, there's little debate on that. But when you move into more frequency things, like what you're saying, it's for someone that doesn't resonate with them at this time, because I think everyone is in a process. Remember the line from the episodes?
Yes.
So just put 7.5 billion people in the line, and there are some that are going to be in the exact same moment, maybe, but there are some that are going to be ahead, even if it doesn't look like it. and some are going to be behind. Everyone has a process, everyone has to go through it. And everyone is going to eventually leave the notion that there's an absolute truth on everything. As I said, there are things that are so simple, like, as I said, the molecular weight of hydrogen. Yes, of course. That's
Well,
that. There's no debate on that. Okay, but for example, colors. Colors, some people think they're absolute, but colors depend on the intensity, depend on the angle you watch it, depend on your eyes if you have any problems.
Yeah.
Some people say that car is red. No, for me, it's purple maybe.
Sure.
So that's the same thing a little bit with reality, that I think, in a way, we see it through a wrong angle and it becomes our reality. So when Joel says at the end, find your own truth, always resonates with me 100% because he's totally right. Find your
Exactly.
own truth. Don't believe me. Don't believe Tony. Don't believe Pat. Don't believe whatever. Find your own thing. Find the thing that resonates with you, with your heart resonates. So I'm going
We,
to leave you,
our
let you speak now.
Sure. Yeah, we have our own unique point of view, how we look at the world. We don't see how other people see. We're unique. And then when you say absolute truth, it's almost like I see it as unity. Unity is absolute truth. But because we've been fragmented, we're actually manifestations of the one source, the divine.
Mhm.
That's the way it's meant to be. We're manifestations. We're supposed to be enjoying life, experiencing flowers, bees, oceans, mountains, people, fish, galaxies. And that is the point of being an individual being. But it might sound too simplistic, but I think divine, the source, is playing through our expressions. We are the expression of the source. So absolute truth, maybe, I'm not saying it is, maybe just the unity of the whole divine source. And it's when we're in a separate body, we can't fathom it. Our minds can't comprehend. But how can all this diversity? What is the absolute truth? Well, we're all from the one source. Maybe that's it, unity. And when God's looking on through us in everything there is, he's laughing. He's saying, well, the absolute truth is that this is all one. This is all the divine self. And I made you an individual, so you would forget it for a while, and you would feel fear, you would feel isolation, you would feel loneliness, you would feel joy, pain, suffering, hate, anger, bungee jumping, family, food, animals, dogs, cats, the whole manifestation of variety of life. And you can only experience that as an individual being. I'm God, so I can't be fearful. I know I own it all. I can't be lonely. Well, I can, I suppose, if it's God on his own. I can't feel isolation. I'm perfect as I am. So I've made all you lot, or me, individual me's, so that I can experience what it's like to feel all these different emotions, different expressions, experiences. And then when we go back to the source, it's just still the one source that is the unity. It's God playing all the roles, maybe. I'll see it.
It's very interesting because I feel exactly the same with you, and I'm just going to say it with different words. And again, maybe my explanation are a little bit more mundane, more simple. But the way I see it is, first of all, you're totally right. I think we're copies, clones of God. I think he's not going to create a lesser or better being. Okay, so everyone coming out from creation has the full package, the full wisdom, the full strength, everything to go. I mean, there's no excuse there. That's why there are no victims. Okay, and also he gave us free will to choose our own destinations and all that. So what I think is, if I'm going to use a metaphor here, it's like God giving us a picture and saying, and all the materials for a painting, and saying, you, Tony, you painted, you, Alex, you painted, you, Jim, you painted, you, whatever, you painted. Okay? Yeah. And then at the end, when you become an ascended master, is the end of your path. It's like you go on forever. It's like a dotted line, okay? It's a line and then the dotted line, okay? You go on forever as an ascended master. There's no more events. You just serve the universe fully. It's your best version. So there are no more dinners with family and that. You just go and serve in ecstasy, by the way. Because some people say, oh, that's going to be very boring. It's like going to heaven. I'm going to get a car there. I'm going to have pizza there. No, just going to go in ecstasy, serving others, assisting others. Yeah. Whoever calls for you, you're going to come back. That's why I insist Jesus Christ is alive as
Yeah.
an ascended master, as the best version of Jesus Christ. So going back, yes, God creates clones, all are perfect. There's no problem there. I'm talking about the spirit, not the bodies. The bodies are the bodies, okay? I'm
Yeah.
talking about the spirits. That's why I say we're all equally beautiful. We're all equally capable as spirits, okay? Of course, as shells, some get a better shell. Some are tall, some are short. Some are aesthetically mainstream, not very beautiful. Some are
Sure.
nothing to see there. For me, there's nothing to see, okay? So what I think, Tony, is that we all go through these paths, or our existences are all differences. That's why I say discover your story, which is basically go into yourself. And maybe with a little, there are therapies there are techniques there that you can go into, for example, regressions techniques, that you go and you discover your past lives and you forgive yourself. Very important, because you're going to discover some pretty tricky stuff, okay? And you're going to forgive yourself, saying, I'm not that anymore. That's karma to me, okay, by the way.
Yeah.
Saying it's like you're killing someone and then you understand that you mustn't kill, okay?
Sure.
Some
yeah.
say, where's the punishment? I mean, where's the jail time, or, No, there's understanding. There's understanding.
That's
It's
the
true
process.
rehabilitation. That's true rehabilitation. That's true repent, okay? Saying, I forgive myself, I've done awful things, but I'm not that person anymore, so I'm growing in a way. So I'm getting karma. In the moment you feel more humble, in the moment you feel you have so much to learn, that's the moment you ascend, okay?
Yeah.
Basically, and an expression, and suddenly you go like a rocket. They say there's a party there. I don't think the universe and God are ceremonial, okay? So I still don't know about that, but they say there's a party, and past families are there, and it's beautiful, and you get what they call the mafia, your button. You get your ring, and you go as an ascended master, okay? You go as an ascended master, and it's wonderful. If there's a party or not, that's beyond the point, but it would be great if there's an ascension party. They say for Jesus Christ there was a party. So I think going back just to end the subject of truth, the summation of our stories, Tony, is the truth, okay? So I think there's this called differential truth. So if I listen to Joel, I listen to Pat, I listen to you, I listen to Skipper, I listen to Wong, I listen to 100 more, I'm getting the truth partially, okay? That's why I want to listen to all of you. That's why I'm interested in all of your thoughts and opinions. So I'm suggesting to everyone listening, open to whatever others are saying. Be open to other opinions. Be open to being wrong. Be not concerned about being right. Because at the end, you are going to need the summations from the others to get the real truth. So the obsession with truth is here. It's an implanted notion. And of course, the system is going to say, this is the truth. And I'm not going to mock on books, because I respect a lot, for example, the work of Tony Skipper, years invested in scriptures. And I think scriptures are great, and I think scriptures are actually very enlightened beings at the time, called prophets, that they put on paper what they were feeling. But I don't mean to belittle them, but it's like you, Tony, writing a book, maybe, of your thoughts right now. In an 1,000 years called scripture. So this summation of prophets, this summation, of things that they later became truth, it's wonderful. I'm not mocking Bibles, the Quran, or whatever. I'm saying that for someone to say this is the absolute truth, and what you read in this book, and first of all, you have to truly understand it like Tony. Tony invested years of scripture understanding, years of his life. It's not something what I say about the Bible is when you say, we agree it's available in supermarkets or something, any bookstore you can get a Bible, and you go and pick it on a Friday and say, I'm going to read through the weekend. Oh, I know everything now. No, you don't know anything. so don't be concerned, okay, about being right, because it's something. 2 + 2 = 4, of course, but that's a banality. That's not important. Okay, I'm talking about the real important things. You are not going to get the full truth. You are going to get there if you open yourself to the summation of the angles of the truth from other people. So more than thinking of, when you're reading a book, you're getting one author opinion.
Yes.
I think you're better off you talk to 10 people.
We never stop learning.
Exactly.
Have that attitude. We're always learning, and therefore you're open-minded. You don't know it all. No one knows it all. I don't know it all. I only know what I know now. I don't know what I'm going to do in 10 minutes' time, an hour's time. And I've got to cook dinner or go shopping, whatever it is I've got to do. But I know nothing more than anyone else on this path, because it could change. Someone could come out and say, "Oh no, this book's a lie," or "This person's a fraud," or "This David Icke's,
David Icke.
he's a lizard or something." So
I like David Icke. I want to tell you, I'm doing the effort. I'm really insisting on trying to bring him. I know I don't have. I'm a nano channel, okay, not even small channel. So
Yeah.
I'm trying. There's someone that has interviewed David Icke that I know, that actually I brought on the show, like a month ago, and I've been trying. I want eventually to talk to David Icke, recorded or not, because I think David Icke, of course, he has become a business, and I can relate to that, okay.
Yeah.
His work has become his business. It's the way he feeds himself, his family. So let's be respectful of that. It's not like he's sold to the system. But I wish he knows about this. Okay, I think he's getting a lot of help from himself. He calls it, he has been channeled on that, but maybe he's not aware he's David Icke in the future, the Ascendant Master. And I think he will do a lot of service to humanity if he changed the tune a little bit. Okay, if he changed the tune a little bit, if he a little bit more humble, stuff like that. I think he's very close. I'm not going to say anything about the Alex Jones and that. No, completely entertainment. I like Alex as an entertainer.
Yeah.
But not. I'm not interested in having a meaningful conversation with him or excuse me, or others. Okay. But David Icke, I think, is someone that first of all, I read The Children of the Matrix like 10, 15, 20 times. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So have you read that one? It's really interesting.
Oh, I've not read any of his books.
Okay, now that one in particular, you're gonna read that one. It's because it talks a lot about, how this external force and that. And then I'm not saying that for me is my truth because I read it on a David Icke book. That came to me afterwards, through intuition, through many signs, and that's what's going on. That this cannot be human. This cannot be human. What we're seeing, the prime ministers, the presidents. I'm not gonna say any names. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. They're all equal in every country anyway. I mean, they behave the same way. They're just puppets, okay? And either they are completely deceived, or they have been promised things, or they have been threatened, and they have submitted to fear. And that's why the ones. But they are irrelevant in the great scheme of things. Yeah. I mean, this plan obviously has been going on for thousands of years. Yeah, I mean, this is just, right now for me, we feel we're winning, Tony, seeing how desperate they are. Because this stuff the last 3 years has been, they have thrown the book at us.
Oh, they're panicked.
Panic, exactly, yes. That's a perfect word, panic. They're panicked. So if your rival, or whoever you're having a race, I want to call it a race, not a war, is panicked, it's good for you, because if he's panicked, there's a reason for it. They also abuse something, time travel. They abuse it, okay? They don't care about the karma they're doing. So they go into the future, and they actually see humanity has won. And they say, no, we need to do more things because humanity is winning. We're doing pandemics, we're doing diseases, we're doing whatever. We have them fearful, inflation, all of that. We're doing EMF. Right now, I'm sensitive to electricity. That's the shell I got. I have a high, you talk about frequency, I have a high impedance, okay? So the resistance of my shell is very high to electricity. So right now, they're throwing the book at EMF. The way I deal with it is I have sea salt baths in a bathtub, okay? So that's how I get rid of a little bit of that resistance that my body is facing. But believe me, the amount, I live in a big city. Probably if you're in a smaller or small town, you're doing much better as far as EMF. But right now, it's coming from upstairs because they're throwing it through the satellites, okay? Yeah. So there's and there's a reason they did that, because some people figure out, okay, I just moved from a big city and I go into a smaller city, so I'm doing much better in EMF and my health. But right now they say, okay, what are you going to do if we bombard Earth with EMF from satellites? You are SOL. So right now they're throwing the book at us, and I see it as a positive thing because humanity is going to win. Are we going to see it with our own eyes? I don't know, Tony. It will be nice. But it's more the ego in a way, because this is not up to us. It's nothing related to us. Something much higher here, and you know what? It's a very eventful time in humanity for sure. And what you're experiencing, what I'm experiencing, what Pat and Joel, what Tony Skipper is experiencing, all of us, it's coming to so many people. But some of them they don't have. We have like a community, okay? And I thank Pat and Joel because they have built the Waking the Future family. Okay,
Yeah.
I met you through the Waking the Future family. So what's happening is some people are out there imagining how alone they feel or something that is going on with them. They're getting this intuition. Their ascended master, their ascended self is coming to them saying, you know what, this and that and that and that, and they think they're going crazy. And I
Yeah.
spoke to someone that feels they're going crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to say something about that? Or?
And I would say, yeah, I agree with you. You've got to have compassion for them. You've got to have empathy for them, because it can't be good to have this upheaval. But yeah, I do believe. But back to when I mentioned David Icke, it was kind of my way of saying that no one has all the answers. You know,
Yeah.
you can believe a story,
Totally agree.
a prophet, or have this leader or that guru, and yeah, for a while they take you a bit further along the path. But there comes a point where even that guru no longer vibrates with you. Your frequency has outlived it. It's done its job.
Yes.
So then you
I agree.
reach a plateau. So you go up a level and you go to a new plateau, and then you have to put in the groundwork and put in the hard work to learn more stuff on a different level. And you might find a new guru or a new David Icke or a different theory even. But then that will take you to the next level. So no one has all the truth. That was my main point. So even if you're in a fearful state now and you're thinking, I'm going mad, what's going on in the world? These people are getting messages of intuition and they think they're going crazy. That's part of their journey to deal with that the best way they can. It's like nothing is an accident. God doesn't play dice. Everyone has got their own very tailored path. So I just see it as perfection. God doesn't do anything by accident. Everyone has got their own unique, absolutely perfect path. And that's what people don't grasp. They've got to learn. Everything's for a reason. Everything's for our own advancement, our own evolution of the soul. It's all about, because as we're talking now, Alex, we could be believing in one thing, and I could be thinking something's this way or that way, and until I bang my head against the wall, but thinking, well, this ain't working, only then will I change. And it's God saying, yeah, I'll put the wall there for you to bang your head against for a while, until you realise you're not in charge, you don't have all the answers. And then I'll wake up and go, okay, I'll go round it, or I'll go over it, because I'm not paying attention to what life's showing me. So God designs it with absolute perfection. And if I'm not awake to the present moment, what life is showing me, and I think I have any of the answers, I'm not learning, I'm not moving forward. If that makes sense.
A lot of sense, Tony. As you were speaking, I was saying yes. God, the moments of God, the process of the universe are perfect. They're not by chance. He doesn't leave anything to chance, okay? I completely agree and sure of that. And also, there's another person I muted there in Waking the Future. He's a good poster, but there was just a message that I couldn't just take. And he mentioned something that God is an energy that doesn't know better, doesn't know love, and I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree totally.
I totally disagree with that. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's clear that the universe is made out of love. It's very clear. I don't need any proof. So for someone to say something like that, for me, just a message is such a high resistance to that message that I didn't want to hear anymore about that person. I don't care, honestly, what more he had to say. So for me, it's just a message. If that was the case, please destroy me right now. Okay. I don't want to keep going if that was the case. I wanted to say something from what you were saying. I just wanted to mention that, but also just let go. You hearing, just let go yourself. Just don't make your brain keep you in this state that you have control and you need to do this A, B, C, D thing. Doesn't matter what you do. You're going to go on forever. Just let go and enjoy life. Enjoy this second. Enjoy the present. Enjoy your family and friends. And yes, it's fine. It's fine to read and that. Just take it with a grain of salt and don't allow it to control you. Don't read a book and allow it to control you. Any book. Okay? Don't watch a video and allow it to control you. And you were talking about gurus, and I agree. But I think what gurus can do at the most is just show the road in a way and just share their message. But
Yeah.
I do believe they're not true teachers. I mean, the only true teacher is yourself.
Yes.
So if you're going to put, again, this is this concept, implanted concept by the system, that you need others, okay? That you need a
Yes.
government, that you need a pharma industry. Some people think there was no medical industry, no medicines, I will die. And it's not true.
No.
Try it. Right now, I'm totally medicine free. I mean,
Yeah.
and I heard also Pat is medicine free, Joe. And I don't judge anyone that is taking medicines. What I'm trying to say is, don't believe these notions that you need so much, okay? That you need a
Yeah.
hierarchy. That's why, for example, when harmful content appeared on Week in the Future, the likable guy, I think he's well intentioned, but doing another party, basically doing mock elections. So we're gonna copy the system and then beat it. What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is, I think we're beyond that. Come on,
Yeah.
everything has to go. I mean, the
Yeah.
system is gonna crumble, and not even robots gonna be available to us. We are gonna have to build everything, and it's gonna,
Yeah.
it has to be different, because if we don't build it different, we're gonna make the same mistakes. Okay.
Yeah.
If there are hierarchies, it's implanted. It's like money. Money has to go, and hierarchies have to go. Because if there are any hierarchies, Tony, it doesn't matter if you are the president, I'm the president, Pat and Joel, and whoever you want to tell me. Eventually, the power is going to get to us, okay? And we're
Yeah.
going to make mistakes, and we're going to think more like, I know better because I'm the king of the hill, I'm the president of the world or the country, whatever. So I know better. For some reason, I'm that. So you don't know better. You're inferior to me. No, it's a sum. Again, it's a sum of everyone, collective consciousness, humanity consciousness, the
Respect.
sum of all our frequencies making
Yes.
everything, okay? It's the summation of all that. So you are important. You listening. You are important. It doesn't matter what you have done. If you're listening in a prison or whatever, it doesn't matter. You listening. You are very important to this process. So please discover your frequency. Please discover yourself. Please discover your story. So you can. That's the way you're going to help humanity, okay?
Yeah.
That's the way. Again, these are my opinions and my feelings. By the way, I don't have a solution to humanity, but for me, there's no other truth. My truth is the only way to help humanity. Is, again, if this was a game, you need to be strong to get into the game, and you're not going to be strong unless you discover your inner strength and your real you. Okay.
Yeah. We need to get rid of hierarchy and ego, because the egoic energy, like class system, I'm better than you and you're better than him and you're not as good as him or her, is the whole problem. We're not equal. Then there will always be division because of I'm better than him or she's better than you. So that division of level, being on a different level, that's got to go. We've all got to be equal and respect each other equally. That's the only way we can move forward. So you're right, in hierarchies, this system, it has an egoic energy, an egoic, competitive, divisive energy, where everyone is in competition with each other. They're all competing to be the best, to be the first, have the most, to look the best. It's the wrong energy. It's not about cooperation, it's about competition. You have to engage with each other and work for each other, serve each other. That's how I see it. It sounds, people will listen to me and say, "Oh, he's preaching. He's saying he sounds like a preacher." Well, maybe that's a coincidence. If it is, it's a coincidence. It's it's what I believe. I've seen division. I've seen anger. I've seen competition. It destroys relationships. Class, different levels of people. It just breaks down all the time. It completely breaks down every situation it's ever been put in. This egoic energy. And service to others might sound like an old-fashioned idea. Jesus, I think, mentioned service to others once, but it's what they're trying to take us away from. They're trying to keep us away from serving each other, helping each other, because that's where we're strong.
Yes. Summation.
Exactly.
You and I and whoever, it doesn't matter, someone in Africa, someone in Asia, someone in Mexico, it doesn't matter. We're all in this together. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all really, the summation of us makes humanity. So I totally agree with you on that. I mean, since we're born, even through school, I mean, I know you have it in the UK, but the Mexican system is very similar to the US system. They have this thing called honor roll, which is basically, the first student of the class, the second student. And There's a division right there. If you're not in the honor roll, the top 5, then you're basically no one, as far as academics and stuff like that. And then they have the sports competition, which sports as entertainment is fine. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But to submit kids to the stress that they didn't get a good shell, they're not into sports, and they're the last one in a race. No,
Yeah.
I mean, so they do this because they need to. I mean, hierarchies go with competition. I mean, they go with the concept that they're lesser beings and superior beings. Okay, so that's why they say, "I'm sorry, you're just a citizen. I'm the government, so I'm higher than you. I'm gonna dictate, and you have to pay taxes and all that because I'm gonna give you infrastructure and protection." And it's basically that type of relationship. And religions are not very different.
Right.
And if you go into any kind of religion, into any kind of church, synagogue, whatever, and you start saying basically, I'm equal to God. Because it's not, I mean, worship is a concept the universe doesn't understand. I mean, God says, what do you need me for, son? I'm going to assist you. I'm never going to offer to solve things for you. Because you are not special. Again, they're not superior beings. It's breaking the law of balance. It's a beautiful law.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a beautiful law. So you say, I want to win the lottery, God. No, buy a ticket and you'll get the first chance as everyone else. Buy 10 tickets, you get 10 more chances. Okay? So it's not, I'm not gonna solve your problems for you. So that's why it gets very complicated, Tony, when, for example, people are sick, and we also have to understand for the universe, for God, sickness. First of all, it's part of this reality, because it's not gonna be part of the new world. It's gonna be little to no sickness. It's part of the imbalance of the flesh. And some people, so they start praying, please save my father, please save. What's God gonna do? I mean, okay, I save your father and then I let the other one die in the room next. I mean, some people think because they have engaged in this thing called, religion, and they have followed the rules and regulations, that they have become special to God, special to Jesus Christ. So, I mean, I don't mean to bring back all these people from Week in the Future, but BDN, okay, I'm gonna say it. He doesn't watch this show anyway. BDN said like a month ago that there was a how's it called it in English, rainbow. Sorry. There was a rainbow outside his house, and he knew it was a message from Jesus Christ telling him he's special. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, but if he truly believes it, okay. No, I don't think. Again, these are my feelings. I could be wrong, but I don't think Jesus Christ or God play special. They don't have. You are as special to him as everyone else. So you are special, but it's not about you. It's not about your ego, as you say. The ego and the self. The self is the selfness. Is you understanding you're as special as everyone else, and understanding your true value, or understanding you don't have more value than anyone else. But also very important, you don't have less value than anyone else.
Yes.
So please never feel like you are less than anyone, because you are not. Okay.
Yes.
But also the same rule applies. Never feel you're special or better than anyone, because you're not. Okay.
Yes.
So Tony, I'm looking at the timer. We have been going on from an hour and 11 minutes. I'm going to speed up. I always speed up my episodes by 50%, so that's going to take some of the time. So if you want to say something in closing, and first of all, I wanna get a commitment from you that this is not the last time you're coming on, because we have so many things to speak. And you know what? I think it would be great if then we get maybe a 3-way chat going with Skipper, with the other Tony. So we have the two Tonys, because he's also very insightful and so fun to talk to. And we maybe bring Wonga or Pat or whoever. You listening. If you want to be on a chat with Tony, send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net. I mean, I'm not playing specials. I'm just saying it would be great maybe to get a third party here and have this communication, as far as, someone that maybe is not so out there like you and I, because this episode was very out there, because you and I are very out there. But maybe someone like Pat, that it's a little bit more I'm not saying mainstream, but a little bit more balance, if you want to call it, approach. So it would be great to have all the angles, because again, Pat's vision, your vision, my vision, whatever vision in whatever country, all our summation of these billions of visions is the beautiful humanity. And that's the real truth. And that's why it's impossible to get, because it will be very difficult to get all the feelings from all of that. And I think that, Tony, is the collective consciousness, the humanity consciousness. And that's going to rule the new world that is coming. Because what's going to happen is, some say it's going to be like Mad Max. No police, no government, so we're going to be killing each other with gasoline and Mad Max was really funny. They're only interested in gasoline, not even in food.
Accurate.
But no. We're going to understand how to behave to each other, to be good to each other. The only thing
Yeah.
you're going to be thinking is help others. So it's going to be
Yeah.
a beautiful world. The only thing you're going to be thinking is how to help others. Okay. So when
Yeah.
that summation happens, reverberation, reflecting happens. Love gets reflected, so it's like a pinball machine. The ball is out there, it starts to go faster and faster as that machine doesn't go anywhere. It's just reflected. No one wants the love because no one needs it. So you
Yeah.
reflect good deeds. So bad
Yeah.
deeds disappear. Okay. So if you want to say something in closing, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think people at the moment, the ball is rolling. The ball of humanity is rolling now. We have the momentum with us, and even the ones that are at home, isolated in fear, what's going on? Another jab? Not another jab. I've got to take. I've got to put my mask on in a minute. These sort of people, they're like, it's like a fruit ripening. They may not be ripe yet, but give it time, they'll be on board with the program. It'll click, penny will drop. It'll be, oh my goodness, I see it. And then humanity will wake up like ripe fruit. And all the things we've been telling them, they'll be going, oh, I see now. And it's just a maturation process. They've got to mature. Meet us halfway. Get to the point we're at. And then we'll see on the same page. So when we have conversations like this, they're not wasted. It's planting seeds. It's inspiring. It's helping to see from our point of view. And the more people do the groundwork in what you do, it's your great service to humanity and to me and everyone that watches.
Thank you.
Is that this is the groundwork where we're building, the trenches. We're fighting through the trenches to get the foundations stable, so that the ones that wake up we're ahead of it. We're just ahead of the curve, and those that are in a bit further back, and there's further ahead of us. There's plenty further ahead of us, guiding us, and it's just a matter of time and plugging away at it, persevering, and teaching. Ditch your thinking, ditch your manuals, ditch your religions. And I'm serious about this. People, or start to question them at least. Make inroads in questioning everything. Take nothing for granted. Clean slate, empty screen, because that's holding you back. All of your thinking is old thinking. It's the chains that are holding you in that prison. We need to wipe the slate clean and keep plugging away with our own truth. And when we just keep plugging away with that, the truth we feel inside is strong. We're unstoppable. It's just doing the groundwork, what we're doing now.
I agree. I totally agree, Tony, and I thank you for being on the show. I'm very glad you decided to appear with Wake in the Future. I'm very glad you decided to come on the show, and I suggest to you that either you keep appearing on other shows or maybe even you do your own thing if you feel like it. We'll all benefit. I think we're all doing a service to humanity, just sharing our story, because that's what we're doing. There's no absolute knowledge as we just shared on this episode. So we're just sharing our story, hoping it moves someone. Because some people just need a slight angle of movement, and they're in the right path. And I wanted to say something what you mentioned about a beautiful metaphor about like a fruit. Some fruits are slow, to grow and that. And for some, it's going to be one day you're going to wake up, metaphorically and literally, okay? Both in the morning, and all the wisdom is going to be in you. Because it's going to be, there's not going to be any other way. You have resisted, and I'm not saying a bad thing, you have resisted to it so much that one morning you're going to wake up and you're going to say, I figure it out now, and I know it now, and I know the way to go and that, and you will be fully, air quotes, awake, which is just a label. Pat and Joel had a guest the other day, they talk about awakening. It's just a label, okay? It's just a word we need to use. We need to find a word to express this discovery process. Okay, this wisdom discovery. So it's going to come to you. You have resisted. And how you have resisted? You're vibrating on the entertainment. You're vibrating on the mainstream news. You're vibrating on thinking that the world is doing fine. Because that's the way you're resisting. If you think right now everything is fine with the world, it's clear it's in turmoil. But to me, that's a good sign because it means they're desperate. Okay? That's the way I see it. This process had to arrive someday. Okay, why push it? Okay,
Yeah.
this process of this hijacked reality, this reality had to end. So you and I are very lucky, though. I'm talking to some other people and trying to find a way to think of something. Because some other people are having such a rough time in this reality. Okay, and of course it goes back to mother money, man, to God money. Okay, and I made an episode. It's probably already published. If you want to see it later on today, that I talk about that is a monopoly reality. It's really like playing the monopoly game with no money. With a 20 monopoly dollar bill, you fall into the tax or the chance or whatever it is, community chest, and you're done. Pay 20, you're done. You're done. It's you have a lot of money, this reality becomes a little bit easier. That doesn't make money good. But if you have little to no money, you're really struggling in this reality. And that's, I think, as the summation of energies, is there are a lot of good people that have a lot of money. And if we find a way to move those energies, some call it Robin Hood approach, whatever. Say it whatever you want, but if we find a way to get these people to produce themselves, maybe make them or help them get a business, maybe help them get a job, maybe help them, but at the end, you cannot be just constantly, I go back to the Mother Teresa of Calcutta, you cannot, for example, just be paying someone every month, and the person doesn't do anything. That's just wrong. There's a wrong use of energy. That person is giving you your energy, you're actually sucking the energy from him, even if it's very strange to understand. All right, I thank you very much. This is coming out tomorrow, Friday, or people watching right now is Friday for them. And please come back to the show. I really enjoy it. I was looking forward to it. I don't want to make you special because you are as special as every other guest I get. But for me, we're really aligned. So it was a really interesting, aligned conversation for me. And so I hope you come back. I hope you keep going to other shows. You certainly are going to be soon back with Pat and Joel. And think about it if you have the time or that. Think about maybe doing your own little podcast here and there, just sharing your feelings. I think a lot of people will benefit from it.
Thank you, Alex. That's much appreciated. Yes, I enjoyed it too. It was really good, better than I thought. We've got the same. We're sort of aligned, like you say. We've got the same intention of helping others and doing our best, regardless of the critics. Critics will be there regardless. They're always going to be there. It's just they don't understand where we're coming from. They're in a path that is hedonistic, maybe more than others, and they see it from their little viewpoint. So it's expected. We don't mind, but we're not going to change. We're still going to go forward, regardless of anyone. This feeling of the right way is too strong. It's the divine. That's how I see it. It's just simply this intuition receiving out. It's the power, the one power.
Agree. I have zero doubts when I hear, because it will be human, when someone says, "Oh, this is demonic, this is Satan, sorry, this is satanic." I have zero concern with that, because I immediately something inside me tells me no way. I know it's not that like you and I are the good guys. I don't want to paint it that way. There's no good or bad. We're in a line. We're maybe a little bit ahead. That's all. Nothing to write home about. But as far as that, that we're going into the wrong direction, that to me, I have zero concern. I'm totally calm that this is right, because the message is just beautiful. There's nothing negative on it. You don't even have to do anything. I don't ask you to abide to anything. I'm not. You said something that we sound like preachers. I agree, and someone told me, a good friend of mine, you sound like you're preaching sometimes. So watch out, because people might think it's New Age religion. No, everything we do is suggest. Okay, the beautiful part is doesn't matter what you do, because it's just a matter of time. If you don't do anything, if you even elect to go demonic, that would be the worst possible way. You're going to get it someday, and you're going to ascend someday. That's it. You're going to have your party, even if there's no party or whatever. You are going to get there. Just you're making it. It's like going from point A to point B. It's like going from London, I don't know, to Aberdeen or something in Scotland. You can go. You can keep wandering around London and go, around circles for years, but you're going to get to Aberdeen sometime. Okay. So the only thing you are doing, if you are looking at other things, it's perfectly fine. Because the only thing you're doing is you're taking a little bit more time.
Yes.
Which time is infinite in the universe, so it becomes irrelevant. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. So thank you very much for watching. please stay for the last 3 minutes of the show. Thank you, and if everything is okay, I shall be back on Monday, actually. Thank you. Bye-bye. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net to schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.